All right, boys. Let's give these people what they came for.
Greetings, everyone, from Atlanta. The Hawks playing host to an Eastern Conference affair here at the Phillips Arena. Now a chance to check out our starting lineups. And as we take a look here at Glenn Davis, guys, what do you think?
Well, Big Baby has that football build, 6'9", close to 300 pounds, but he's surprisingly light on his feet for such a big guy. And he's got a nice touch on that jump shot as well.
Yeah, nice touch and good mobility, and a lot like those tree trunk guys when he sets a screen. Good luck in getting through that. Wow. The Magic made a special trip here for one game back in Orlando for the next one. They've got a good chance to prove themselves in what is going to be a very difficult part of their schedule coming up. Guys, with the bulk of their games coming up on the road, it's going to be tough.
Well, looking at Orlando, they've inserted themselves right into the playoff conversation, at least in the early going, that is.
Yeah, they seem to have turned a corner, climbing the ladder to a team that just might make the postseason.
Well, Tobias Harris last season, guys, sent from Milwaukee to Orlando at the trade deadline. I like this young man's game. He went from a reserve role to starter's minutes and remained very effective.
Here's Red Hot. Another three for Atlanta.
Incredible. Only took them a few seconds to answer the three ball with one of their own.
Let's keep this thing going, guys. I love seeing a three-point battle like this.
Now, here is Nelson. He had 22 points in the win against Phoenix.
And no question, you look at his assist totals. I mean, they tell you what a nice job he was doing with really spreading that ball around.
And back to Tobias Harris now in his third season in the league and still just 21 years of age.
And he's the player that Orlando insisted on in that trade with J.J. Redick. So the versatility they liked, the ability to have the skill set of a three, but also be able to guard a four. That type of kind of hybrid forward has become very popular in the NBA these days.
Atlanta on D. Their last meeting was in this building where they were able to come out on top.
Well, and they got the better of them that game, I thought, by forcing turnovers. Their defense was terrific, and they were able to get out in transition and get some easy hoops.
Shot clock at 6. From deep, a Flalo. No up. And Atlanta will come the other way. Their last game, a win against Boston, hoping to carry it into this one.
And the thing I took away from that game was how dominant they were on the boards.
Well, it's impossible not to see that domination. Based on the numbers, it was really lopsided in the rebounding battle.
Here's Red Hot. He had a career game last time out. Bucket after bucket. Getting in the passing lanes, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers. I mean, you got to do it.
That's a must if you're going to be a good defensive team. Good perimeter defense can cause a lot of headaches and problems for the offense. That's why those defenders are in such high demand.
So after making the first, he goes 1 for 2.
When the Magic made the big trade they did to send an unhappy Dwight Howard away, everybody thought they'd be the doorman of the league, and that wasn't quite the case. They were able to sneak up on some teams early and had enough talent to battle others late.
And as good as their season appeared early on, the Magic did eventually cool off, and teams were able to overpower them. Steve, early on, they definitely caught teams off guard, I thought, and were playing well above themselves.
I agree, Kevin. They executed really well. They would run a Flalo and Redick off those screens. And Vucevic was a surprise, a really good young player down low. But they've got to continue to build this roster in order to compete at the highest level.
Really was a very strong season, guys, for Jameer Nelson as he bounced back in a big way. You know, he got his scoring up and was acting as a playmaker at a much higher level than what we were accustomed to seeing from him.
The kick out to Williams. Nice ball movement here by Atlanta. Here's Red Hot. Gets it to go. Red Hot's got 9.
Well, I think this is the start they want. Come out and put some points up early. 3 of 4 so far.
Clark, you just mentioned the uptick in assists for Jameer Nelson. He's the Magic's franchise record holder in assists, Steve, with over 3,000.
You know, I would have guessed that Scott Skiles had more than that.
Me too.
Skiles had so many back in the day, but it just shows you the consistency and the production that Nelson has given that team over almost a decade now.
Davis with the block. Orlando leading. They come into this having outplayed Phoenix the last game.
Well, Kevin, they constructed a perfect offensive game plan going into that game, and it was quickly apparent how powerless the defense was to stop it.
Powerless is a good way to put it, Steve. We're unlikely to see that many uncontested baskets again anytime soon.
And out of bounds as the Magic will gain possession. With a break in the action, let's take a peek at the top rebounding teams in the NBA this season. The Magic in second.
Yeah, this team's success has always been tied to their rebounding. Just a physically dominant club.
Out of bounds, Atlanta takes possession. Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Thank you, Kevin. The Magic head coach and I had a chance to talk just for a bit. He talked about the impact that Al Horford can have on a game and how they'll have their work cut out for them dealing with him. He said Horford's just a complete ball player. He does all the things you want from a big man. He can shoot, handle, and pass. He's always a tough matchup, but it starts with matching his energy level. Kevin, we'll see if they have what it takes.
Thanks, Doris. Doubled by Nelson. Here's Korver for 3. That's good.
That's like a layup for him. He's just wide open out there.
Orlando's gone 2 or 3 from deep so far in this game. And Oladipo kicks to Nelson. Feeds to Oladipo. Pass to Turkoglu. With the lead pass. Aflalo. Turkoglu kicks to Oladipo. Back to Turkoglu. Here's the dish to Oladipo. Pass to Turkoglu. Turkoglu right side. Now Oladipo. Coming off a solid outing against Phoenix. Here's Nicholson. And they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation. We're just over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Tries again. And it's Orlando with the rebound. Out of bounds, Atlanta takes possession.
Kevin, let's look at where the Hawks stand in the NBA rankings right now. First in steals, first in field goal percentage, and they're also number 1 in three-point shooting. This is a team that loves to cast up shots from behind the arc.
Yeah, Clark, this is a team that scares opponents because of that steals number that you talked about. Well, they're so good at anticipating plays. They seem to have a good scheme defensively night in and night out. They know their roles. They make the rotations. They read the passing lanes. And they frequently get out there, make steals, and then get out in their transition game.
Red hot. He's in at the point. Elton Brand is out there with Paul Millsap. Then there's Jared Cunningham. And it's Schroeder in at the 2 guard. So that's the lineup for Atlanta. Savage. That's the way to get some momentum on your side.
Absolutely. Those dunks can really have a deflating effect on the defense.
Especially coming from a guy out of the backcourt.
Orlando's gone 4-6 from outside the arc tonight.
You know, I love watching a guy like Paul Millsap play because he's so efficient in his movement, and he's crafty. He's able to score big numbers on guys much bigger than him.
Here we are in November, and let's see how things are going out east in the early season. We'll take a look at the Hawks. A terrific position for them as they hold up that illustrious top spot, but it's a long season, as we all know. And checking out Orlando. 5.5 games behind.
You know, for the Magic, they've inserted themselves right into the playoff conversation, at least in the early going, that is.
Yeah, they seem to have turned a corner, climbing the ladder to a team that just might make the postseason.
And Millsap, not quite 6'8", but he's got everything else. Motor, skill level, and Steve IQ for the game.
Yeah, very well-rounded. And his wingspan really helps defensively. You know, he's led all power forwards in steals in each of the last 3 seasons, so he really does a nice job defensively.
For the Magic, Swallow comes in for Jerron Lamb, and Jameer Nelson is subbed in for Ejuan Moore. Nelson outside, looking to end the run. They push it up 4 on 3. Here's Red Hot. Offensive rebound. The Magic trail by 4. Aflalo kicks to Harris. And goaltending is going to be the call, so they get the basket there anyway.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
The fans don't like that call one bit.
Well, the officials got an earful as a result.
And guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown so far for the Hawks.
Now, they didn't waste any time getting into a groove out there. They're dialed in from long range.
They've been distributing the ball really well tonight, too. I mean, a decent number of assists so far for them.
Williams passes to Red Hot. Back to Williams. Pocket 6. Another 3 for Atlanta.
You know, you lose a player like Joe Johnson, and you figure that your offense is going to suffer a bit, but the Hawks made some nice adjustments by becoming more of a ball movement and spacing team than an isolation team.
And Clark, you mentioned the passing from the Hawks. Last season, second in the NBA in percentage of their possessions. With an assist, Steve, not bad.
Well, they had a pretty well-rounded roster last year, Kevin. It seemed like everybody could just come in and get double figures if they needed to. Of course, major changes in the offseason. No more Josh Smith, so they'll be relying more heavily on Al Horford, Kyle Korver, the veterans in this group. But they're going to have to continue to work as a team to be effective offensively.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. Red hot in the last game against the Celtics put on a show. He ended up with 53 points, and in addition to his scoring, he also came away with a season high for rebounds. Just numbers that really jump out at you in a box score.
Thanks, Doris, for revisiting what was an astounding performance, Clark.
It clearly was one of those games that when we look back on his career, this game will be right there among the best ever that he's played.
Well, he was in the zone from the outset. It was just one of those games where he was feeling it. Everything was going his way, and he attacked, and that's what I like. Once he knew it was his night, he just attacked relentlessly.
But they'll get another chance. Turkoglu kicks to Oladipo. He feeds it to Nelson. The pass to Oladipo. Back to Nelson. Dishes it to Oladipo. Nelson, covered by Brand. Nelson, the pass to Oladipo. The Magic again can't hit. And the first half ends in a close one. Hawks lead by 5. And get ready now for the Sprint Halftime Show with Damon Bruce. The second half will be coming up right after that on 2K Sports.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Welcome, everyone. Let's see if we can spice up your Tuesday night with a little halftime report. Atlanta with the lead against Orlando. And nice teamwork offensively. Moving the ball around, what a great way to play. Red Hot having himself a big-time game.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far.
Some really terrific numbers for Red Hot. 19 points, and he's added to his numbers by hitting 4 shots from the three-point line.
Well, 12 points from long range, so the defense has to figure out a way to defend him a little differently, try to get into his airspace.
On the court for Orlando, Nelson and Aflalo combine a guard. Glenn Davis out there with Tobias Harris, and it's Maxio in at the 5, home in the paint. So he gets them both.
Well, the Magic ended up with just 20 wins on the season, which would be the worst record in the NBA last year, but they at least weren't dead last when it came to wins on the road. Still tied, though, for 3rd worst in the league.
When you're a team like the Magic last season trying to find an identity in a rebuilding year, you'll see it can be hard to gel as a cohesive unit on the road.
Well, the whole year it seemed like a lot of the team was trying to figure out the kind of the nuances of the team dynamics, of the talent, of the new coaching staff. And it's frustrating when you're just getting beaten up every night. But you got to go through that to grow as a group. And hopefully this team can be a little better on the road this season.
Here's Red Hot. Davis with the double team. There's Williams with the 3, and that one's good. Williams has got his 2nd bucket tonight.
That's how you have to attack the double team. Find the open man, get the ball out of your hands.
Aflalo outside. He dishes it to Harris. 6 on the shot clock. Aflalo. That one wide left.
Well, he's wide open there, but really struggles from that range. Maybe there's a reason he's open.
Red Hot the pass to Brand. Here's Red Hot. Outside Millsap. Red Hot. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. And now a 10-point Hawks lead.
Broke out the finger roll, guys. That was kind of a stylish finish.
You go back to the 2006 draft when Paul Millsap was taken 47th guy. Now remember, he had led college basketball in rebounding in all 3 of the years he played at Louisiana Tech. 3 straight years leading the NCAA. That's something that never had been done, not even by a 4-year player. And he ended up being drafted 47th. Hard to figure how that could happen, but he's made the most of his time in the NBA.
Beautiful dish down low.
Some rookies have had a very hot hand this season. These are the best three-point shooters in the NBA's freshman class. Take a look at Red Hot, 3rd in the NBA. He's someone that, if you leave him alone, he's going to knock it down.
I think there's a little rivalry among that group of rookie bombers, and I know he'd love to see his name all the way at the top of that list.
And Steve, you know what? Before it's all said and done this season, that's exactly where it might end up, at the top of the list.
Nelson kicks to Aflalo. Back to Nelson. Passes it to Davis. No good. Great D that time from Brand. And Clark, going back to that 2006 draft you were talking about, it wasn't exactly stacked. In fact, Millsap might be the 2nd-best player in that draft class, Steve, after LaMarcus Aldridge.
Well, it's amazing when you look back. I mean, how did he slip through the cracks all the way to the 2nd round? He might not have had prototype size for the power forward position, but it's all about production, and he was one of the great rebounders the college game had ever seen.
Nelson dishes to Harris. The feed to Maxio. Nelson outside. Harris kicks to Aflalo. Rebound, Atlanta.
Unfortunately, that's been the result for him over and over, guys. He just cannot find the bottom of the basket.
He kicks it to Millsap. Feeds it to Brand. Baseline J on the way. Good on the shot. And now a 12-point Atlanta lead.
A big part of this run here has been their ability to hit from mid-range, guys. I mean, that's unique.
Yeah, some players and teams even shy away from that mid-range jumper, but this team seems to have it dialed in from that range.
A follow. That's good.
You know, his trademark shot is a three-pointer from the corner. And that's what he's known for more than anything else, I'd say.
Yeah, he does spray home his share of triples from over there, Steve. He's not the only guy who likes it there, but he likes it more than most do.
The Hawks shooting their 5th free throw of the game here.
Well, the season numbers for this club really low. I mean, this is something that the team has been focusing on. They've got to improve.
Guys, we haven't seen the type of numbers out of them at the line that we'd come to expect, especially after last season.
Guido Turkoglu's checked in for Orlando. Reese Harkless comes in for Glenn Davis.
The Southeast Division pretty top-heavy last year, but the Hawks, while not having a real chance to win the title, managed to finish second to the Heat in the division.
Turkoglu passes to Harkless. Price outside. Magic moving the ball around. That's good from Harris on the assist by Price. Price has got 3 assists in the game. And for the Hawks, Clark, as you were talking about, taking care of business, going 11-5 against the rest of the Southeast. Steve, they've always seemed to find a way into the top 3 spots of the division when it's all said and done.
Well, Kevin, let's be honest. This is not the toughest division ever. Charlotte and Washington have been really bad. Orlando was horrific last season. So, yeah, that number sounds great, but come on.
You know, there was a lot of talk about the Magic not getting equal value when they traded Dwight Howard to the Lakers before last season, but you take a look at how both teams started, the Lakers and the Magic, and for a time there, the Magic had a better record early in the season than the Lakers. So I think it worked out okay for the Magic.
Lays out. Atlanta leading by 12. 1:36 left to play here in the third. Red hot the pass to Teague. Korver. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Korver's got 9. Well, Clark, like you said, hard to believe, but it's true. The Magic did have a better record than the Lakers for the early part of the season. But that was mostly due to a surprise down year from the Lakers, Steve, and a hot start for Orlando.
And remember, the Magic did get that big win at Staples against L.A. That was kind of revenge for the D. Howard trade. But as time wore on, you know, the Magic's lack of talent showed, and they really struggled the rest of the season.
1:22 left in the third quarter. And Oladipo kicks to Price. Great tee that time from Red Hot.
Great job defending the hoop there.
So important to have good presence defensively inside.
It's tipped. Left side, Price. There's 57 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Back to Turkoglu. Kicks it to Harkless. 6 to shoot. Pass to Turkoglu. Lets it fly. Another miss by Orlando. The Hawks leading by 15. Here's Red Hot. 28 points for him. 27 seconds left in the third quarter. No one covering. Korver's got 12 in the game.
You got to make a defensive adjustment here because he's just destroying them from three-point range.
Well, even when they've closed out on him, Steve, he's knocking them down.
Harris dishes to Turkoglu. He passes to Harkless. They get it back. Kicks it out to Turkoglu. Price outside. Price can't get that one to fall. Here's Red Hot. No good trying to beat the buzzer. Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome.
Be sure to check out the latest issue of Dime Magazine, the cover athlete.
And we're rolling here again with the fourth quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for Atlanta.
These long-range shots look like layups out there, guys.
Something that also stands out tonight is the number of assists they have. I mean, that's a mark of a good club.
Red Hot in at point guard. Elton Brand is out there with Horford. And there's John Jenkins. And it's Millsap in at the 3 spot. So that's the Hawks 5. And the call will be against Red Hot. That'll be his second foul of the game. And Orlando making a change here. Davis is checked in. Atlanta on D. 18 points separating the teams. That's the biggest lead of the game. Here's Nelson. Davis. Just 5 to shoot. Count the bucket. 8 points for Aaron Aflalo.
He's starting to feel it. He's in a groove here in the second half.
Here's Red Hot. High post try. Here's Brand. Nice work on the board. He's paying off with the basket.
And the rebounding numbers don't actually tell the whole story. I mean, they're barely ahead in that category, but when they've needed them, they've gotten them. They've really battled hard.
It's their work on the glass, Steve, that's prevented any kind of momentum swing.
Now, here is Nelson. Defense is right there. Out of bounds as Orlando keeps possession. And upcoming the schedule for the Orlando Magic. They host the 76ers at We're just over a minute into this final quarter of play. Pass to Harris. Back to Nelson. This one for 3. Basket is good. The assist from Harris. 14 points for Jameer Nelson.
And they've set up countless buckets off assists. That's a huge part of what they've been doing here today.
A lot of dime dropping going on out there, Steve. For the last decade or so, Atlanta has been pretty consistent. Always seems to find a way to get to the playoffs, and part of that is they've been pretty good against the Eastern Conference.
Both free throws good from Red Hot. And for Atlanta last season, 29 wins against the rest of the conference. Steve, not an amazing total, but ending up over 500 usually gets you a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference.
And a lot of people worried that they would fall out of the picture last year after they traded away Joe Johnson. You know, they're not a team that can contend for a title, particularly not now with the departure of Josh Smith. But, hey, they're relevant in the East, and they've got some good young talent.
Maxfield. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Yeah, he's a physical player, Kevin. He's got that strong frame, and he uses it to full advantage.
Yeah, matching up with him, you better get ready for impact. High collision impact. His bruising style of play, not for the faint of heart. Clearly, Orlando was a team in transition last year. They had a group of younger, inexperienced players, and many times when that's the case, you'll get off the slow starts in games, and that certainly proved to be true for the Magic.
Follow against Williams. A follow the pass to Nelson. And the 3 ball is good.
A little confusion defensively.
Yeah, you know what? He sent the D a little message with that 3.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Yes, guys, Mike Budenholzer had some words for his team. He urged his players to keep fighting, saying, "We're right there, but the margin of error has shrunk. We've got to play aggressive and smart." Guys?
Thanks, Doris. Clark, you mentioned that the Magic were at the very bottom of the league when it came to scoring in the first quarter of games. Steve, you got to get better as the game went on, obviously, but you can't start every game in a hole down like they did and expect to do well.
Well, we just go back to the roster, and that explains everything. I mean, you look at who they had, the lack of a go-to scorer out of the gates, and that explains the slow start. So this is really all about continuing to build the roster and try to put together some talent.
Hawks passing it around. Clock at 6. Here's Red Hot. Offensive rebound. But Trey gets the bucket. Red Hot's got 16 here in the second half.
You got to give them a lot of credit for the job they've done on the backboard.
Well, they've done a lot of things right, but I agree with you, Coach. The rebounding is right there at the top of the list.
Out of bounds, Atlanta will take possession.
Way too loose on that inbounds pass.
The Hawks leading by 18. And he drew the blocking foul. He'll go to the line for 2. First free throw is good.
And much more aggressive play has led to more free throw attempts for them here in the second half.
You know, that's how you do it, Steve. I mean, defender pressing up on you, you press right back, get into it.
The Magic trail by 20. Aflalo kicks to Nelson. Back to Aflalo. The dish to Maxiel. And the pass to Aflalo. He feeds it to Nelson. A 3-ball. Rebound Atlanta. Brand's got 9 rebounds in the game. Getting it done. Harris on the double team. Let out the pass to Millsap. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Well, Elton Brand is a former #1 overall pick back in '99, guys. And despite that, was one of the most underrated.
Both free throws good for Millsap. Orlando's gone 3 of 5 from beyond the arc since the final quarter's gotten underway. And the call will be against Red Hot. That's his 3rd foul of the game. Outside, Davis. Out of bounds, Magic ball as Orlando keeps possession. Davis setting the pick for a follow. Nelson outside. 5 on the clock. Nelson with another miss.
Well, an 8-rebound advantage like the one they have now is always going to swing the score hard in that team's direction.
And that's certainly been the case today. Their rebounding has made a huge difference.
Harris on the double team. Backing down is Brand. Little turnaround. Orlando grabs the miss. Harris has got his 3rd rebound on the night. And the call will be against Red Hot. That will get him his 4th foul of the game.
He just picked up his 4th personal foul, and now he's got some foul trouble hanging over his head, guys.
Catching up on the changes for Orlando. Andrew Nicholson, he's checked in for Maxime. Turkoglu comes in for Glenn Davis. And Maurice Harkless subbed in for Tobias Harris.
13 seconds of the shot clock. 13.
Here's Nicholson. Shot clock at 6. The Magic need to get a shot off here. Here's Moore. And good coming off the assist from Hedo Turkoglu. 1:09 left in the 4th. Here's Red Hot, defended by Moore. That's good. Red Hot's got 39.
He's finding all kinds of ways to get it done. What a quarter he's having.
Oh, and there's the alley-oop. Oh, and the jam by Harkless.
Looks like they're going to finish strong, but just aren't enough ticks left on the clock.
Well, Steve, it's a good run they're having now, but they just waited too long to have it.
Atlanta's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the 4th. Red Hot the pass to Scott. Here's Red Hot. No good from outside.
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, he had a really good look. I mean, he'll knock that down more often than not.
Turkoglu dishes to Moore. Harkless. And again, it's Orlando with the 3.
Mo Harkless.
26 seconds left in the 4th quarter. The shot's good from Red Hot. Red Hot's got 41.
They certainly haven't let these fans down tonight. It's been a fun night to be in the building.
It has been. I mean, the atmosphere's been great, and no doubt that helped with the winning effort.
That's a tough one there because he's wide open. That's a shot he expects to make.
The kick out to Scott. Passes it to Red Hot. Here's Schroeder. And so Atlanta takes this one by a big margin. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night.
Wonder if I take you there.
Word is spreading around the league that you've made it known you aren't happy here and want to be shipped to another team. Can you set the record straight?
Yeah, I've talked with management. I ain't got nothing to hide. I've got my eye on a different situation, and I'm just trying to see what it would take to get that to play out. The #1 priority for me is to always do what's in my own best interests. We'll see what happens. I know I'm a valuable asset, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're able to work something out.
The location of the target has been found. Destroy the target.
Contact.
Reloading.
Contact. We are under attack. Enemy contact.
Reloading. Mission accomplished. All enemies are down. The location of the target has been found. Destroy the target. Mission failure. All of our forces are down. The location of the target has been found. Destroy the target.
Tango down.
Mission failure. All of our forces are down. The location of the target has been found. Destroy the target. Reloading. Mission failure. All of our forces are down. The location of the target has been found. Destroy the target. Watch out! Tango down. Enemy down. Reloading. The bomb has been planted. Mission accomplished. The target has been destroyed. The location of the target has been found. Destroy the target. Reloading. The bomb has been planted. Secure Area B. Incoming! All enemies are down. The location of the target has been found. Destroy the target.
Enemy down. Cover me, I'm reloading.
Enemy contact. Enemy
Mission
contact.
accomplished. All enemies are down. The location of the target has been found. Destroy the target.
Cover me, I'm reloading.
Contact.
Cover me, I'm reloading.
Mission accomplished. All enemies are down. The location of the target has been found. Destroy the target.
Reloading.
Contact.
Tango down. We got a man down.
The bomb has been planted. Secure Area B. Mission
Contact.
accomplished. All enemies are down. The location of the target has been found. Destroy the target.
Cover me, I'm reloading. Our force is down. I repeat, our force is down.
Contact. Contact.
Mission failure. All of our forces are down.
Enemy down. Reloading. Contact. Cover me, I'm reloading. Contact. Enemy down. Enemy contact. Enemy down. Cover me, I'm reloading.
I'm reloading.
Contact. Contact. Enemy down.
Strike.
Enemy down. Frag out! We are under attack. Enemy contact. We are under attack. Enemy contact.
Watch out!
Frag out.
Grenade!
Enemy contact. I'm reloading. We are under
down.
attack. Contact. Enemy down.
Cover me, I'm reloading.
Fire in the hole!
Cover me, I'm reloading. Watch out! Cover me, I'm reloading.
Reloading. Contact. Tango down.
Cover me, I'm reloading. Down. Cover me, I'm reloading.
Fire in the hole!
Frag out.
Frag out! Fire in the hole! Contact. Enemy down.
Watch out!
Incoming! Take cover! Enemy down. Enemy strike!
Down. I repeat, our force is down.
Contact. Frag out! Tango down. Reloading. Frag out! Contact. We are under attack. Tango. Enemy contact. Reloading.
Enemy
Contact. Tango down. Enemy down.
Frag. We got a man down.
Contact.
Frag out.
Cover me, I'm reloading.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Enemy contact. Enemy contact. Contact.
I repeat, all forces
Contact.
down. Cover me, I'm reloading. Enemy down. Fire in the hole! Frag out. Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Grenade! Tango down. Enemy down.
Frag out! Frag out! Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Contact. Tango down.
Move to the escape point!
Contact. Stay back.
Watch out!
Grenade! Incoming! Take cover! Contact.
Reloading.
Enemy contact.
We got a man down.
Enemy down. Frag out! Frag out!
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Got a
Contact.
man down.
Enemy down. Enemy down. Frag out! Enemy tango down.
Fire in the hole! Cover me, I'm reloading.
Incoming! Take cover!
Fire in the hole! Frag out.
Enemy contact. Enemy contact. Frag out!
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Cover me, I'm reloading.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Reloading.
Watch out! Reloading.
Incoming! Take cover! Reloading. Enemy down.
Fire in the hole!
Frag out!
Frag out! Frag out!
Enemy down. Enemy contact.
Cover, reloading.
Enemy down.
Reloading.
Enemy contact. Reloading.
Reloading. We got a man down. Fire in the hole!
Reloading. Enemy contact. Cover me, I'm reloading. Grenade! We are... Enemy down. Frag out! We are under attack.
Cover me, I'm reloading.
Contact.
Cover me, I'm reloading.
Frag out!
Fire in the hole! You're under attack.
Reloading. Enemy contact. Contact. Tango down. Enemy contact.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Enemy down. Contact. Enemy contact. Tango down.
I repeat, our force is down. Cover me, I'm reloading. Enemy down.
Cover me, I'm reloading. Contact. Enemy contact.
Cover me, I'm reloading. Enemy strike.
Enemy contact. Reloading. Contact. Enemy contact.
Down. I repeat.
Enemy contact.
Fire in the hole! Cover me, I'm reloading.
Enemy contact.
Mission failed. We have lost the operation.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Frag out! Contact. Enemy contact. Cover me, I'm reloading.
Enemy strike!
Incoming! Take cover! Enemy contact. Enemy down. Contact. Enemy down.
Frag out! Fire in the hole!
Enemy contact.
Reloading.
Incoming! Take cover! Enemy contact. We are under attack. Enemy contact. Enemy contact. We are under attack. Enemy contact.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Watch out! Fire in the...
Frag out!
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Contact. Tango down. Grenade! Frag out!
Fire in the hole!
We are under attack! Frag out! Cover! Contact!
Under attack!
Enemy contact! Enemy strike! Enemy down!
Fire in the hole!
Frag out!
Watch out!
Incoming! Frag out! Cover! Incoming!
Fire in the hole!
Grenade! Enemy contact!
Fire in the hole!
Frag out!
Tango down.
We are under attack!
Cover me, I'm reloading.
Grenade! We are under attack!
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Tango down. Reloading.
Enemy down. Contact. Enemy down.
Cover me, I'm reloading.
We are under attack. Enemy down. Enemy down.
Attack. Our force is down. I repeat, our force is down. Fire in the hole!
Incoming! Take cover!
Fire in the hole!
Enemy strike!
Frag out.
Reloading! Enemy contact!
Watch out!
Enemy contact! Enemy strike! Frag out! Contact! Enemy contact! Tango down! Frag out! Frag out!
Fire in the hole!
We are under attack! We are under attack! Cover me, I'm reloading! Enemy down. Reloading. Contact. Incoming! Take contact! Enemy down. Cover me, I'm reloading!
Reloading. Fire in the hole!
Frag out!
Down.
Enemy
We got a
strike!
man down. Fire in the hole! Frag out.
Frag out!
Tango
Enemy down.
down.
Grenade!
Our force is down. Enemy down.
Frag out! Reloading.
Cover me, I'm reloading. We are under attack.
And we are under attack.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Frag out! Grenade!
Fire in the hole!
Incoming! Take cover! Enemy down.
We got a man down. Tango's down.
Enemy strike.
Cover me, I'm reloading.
Tango down.
Fire in the hole!
Grenade!
Frag out! Watch out! Watch out!
Enemy down.
Fire in the hole! Frag out! Fire!
Enemy strike.
Cover me, I'm reloading.
Tango down.
Reloading. Watch out!
Enemy down.
Watch out! Fire in the hole!
Incoming! Take cover!
Fire in the hole!
Incoming! Take cover! Enemy
Cover me,
contact.
I'm reloading.
Frag out!
Fire in the hole! Frag out! Watch out! Grenade!
Incoming! Take enemy contact! Incoming! Take cover! Enemy down. Reloading. Reloading. Incoming! Take frag out!
Watch out! Fire in the hole!
Tango down.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Grenade! Enemy down.
Watch out! We got a man down.
Grenade! Incoming! Take cover! Grenade! Enemy contact. Contact.
We got a man down. Frag out. Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Enemy contact.
Watch out!
Grenade!
We got a man down.
Enemy contact.
Cover me, I'm reloading. Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Frag out! Contact.
Cover me, I'm reloading. Fire in the hole!
Frag out!
Reloading.
Enemy contact. Reloading.
Fire in the hole!
Frag out!
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Grenade! Grenade! Incoming! Take cover!
Cover me.
Contact. Enemy down.
Fire in the hole!
Frag out.
Frag out. Fire in the hole!
Tango down. Reloading. Incoming. Enemy down.
Fire in the hole!
Frag out.
Reloading. Fire in the hole! Watch out! Watch out!
Mission accomplished. We've got it.